Well, just want to thank everyone again for taking the time to come out. It's been a really good a summer for us. We've had a lot of our kids on campus. They've been working extremely hard, and really haven't done anything up to this point media-wise, just because you're trying to put a roster together, making sure you know who's going to be on your team. I think we know. I think our roster's set. And now we're just getting a few things wrapped up with a few visas and getting that all taken care of. And hopefully we should have everybody here on campus by the 18th, which will be great, and really excited about what this year is going to bring for us. So if anybody would like to start with any questions, feel free, and be happy to answer as much as I can.
Coach, can you start with Brittany and the new hire on your staff? And you and Steph had a long relationship, but how do you replace, someone that's been with you for that long?
Yeah, I was really excited for Steph. When she came in, it kind of came out of the blue. She wasn't expecting a call from Arizona State, but Molly took over. And, Steph had played there. She's from the West Coast. And it was just a great opportunity for her to be able to get back to her alma mater. It's a place where I think eventually she would like to retire to as well. And it all lined up. And, when she came in and we talked, I told her, I said, we joked about it, but I said, you've got two choices in my opinion, and that's either resign and take the job, or I fire you and you take the job. Which one do you want? And it was a great run. We had an unbelievable success here. We have, and I'm really excited for her now. She's excited to be someplace where she played and put a lot of time and sweat into, and now she's going to help them rebuild that to where it has been in the past. And with Brittany, we took our time and really tried to look at a lot of different options for, who could come in and bring us not necessarily the exact same thing that Steph did, but who could bring us something that could enhance our program, enhance our staff. And we thought Brittany was a great fit. Obviously, she had a ton of success at NC State. Wes is a good friend of mine. I talked to Wes about her as well. And Brittany has aspirations of being a head coach one day. And she thought it would be good for her career to work for one more person. Obviously, Wes has done fantastic. And now coming in here gives her an opportunity to have two people who can pick up the phone for her when a job comes open that she wants and try to help her get.
Jeff, you lost some valuable experience from last year to graduation. Is there new players stepping up into larger leadership roles during this offseason that you've liked?
Well, I think that's the way it's going to be every year, not just to graduation, but with the portal, the transfers. Been really impressed with Amari Berry's probably in the best shape that she's been in. Now she's still got room to grow, which they all do. But I've seen a lot of improvement from Amari. Taj has taken that next step from a freshman to a sophomore. She's worked on her leadership. Her game has improved as well, so really excited about that. And then you've got, McKinley Randolph is feeling good now. Her foot's feeling better. She was in that boot for the last month of the season where she really wasn't practicing much. She was just playing in games. But now she's done a great job of rehabbing that. So I've seen improvements from all of them. And then you add Laura Ziegler from St. Joe's, who's really had a great summer for us. She's probably right now our best conditioned player that we have. We've been scrimmaging the past 2 days. We'll scrimmage tomorrow again from 9 to 10, which is our little hour that we get. I waited till the last week to really have 4 days that we can scrimmage for an hour. And you can tell from our time scrimmaging that she's in great shape. She rebounds the ball extremely well. She can pass it. She can score it. she's going to bring a lot of experience to our team, which is going to be something that I think all of our fans are really going to enjoy. Raina Scott and then Skylar are two transfers also that are adjusting to the way we do things. Raina, from our first scrimmage on Tuesday till today, looks like a different player. Really starting to understand what we're trying to do. I want our point guards to be explosive. I want them to score, but at the same time, we got to take care of the ball. On Tuesday, she turned it over about 9 times. And today it was once. So really, I'm seeing the growth. She's up there. She's watching film. She wants to be a leader. She wants to be a point guard. So really excited about her. I mean, all of them. And then we have a few that we're getting healthy. Isla had her surgery in April. She'll hopefully be released in September. Grace she's been participating in individual skill work, but not 5-on-5 yet. We're still getting her legs stronger from when she tore her ACL two Julys ago. So it's just one of those things. She was able to play in her high school season there at the end. But we want to make sure that she's in a place where the leg strength is about equal in both. But she's been looking really good in workouts. We're hoping in the next month or so that she'll be cleared for 5-on-5. So it's been a good summer. I've been really impressed with them, and it's going to be fun to see as we continue to work who's going to take that next step.
Jeff, you mentioned how everyone on the team has made meaningful progress this summer, but specifically, how has Taj Roberts looked so far coming off of that really impactful freshman campaign?
Well, Taj has gotten stronger. She's really worked hard in the weight room, which is something that we had talked about at the end of the season. So you'll notice her strength, her shooting, her ball handling has gotten better, and she's really doing a nice job of understanding how to get her teammates the ball as well. So I'm just really excited for her. I think she's put to work it. She understands, I had a good freshman year, but there's more to come. And she was not just going to say, hey, I'm good enough. This is what I want to be. So just really been impressed with the work that she's done.
And Jeff, kind of piggybacking off
Yep.
of that, and you touched on it a little bit just with Taj's growth, but for her to take that next step and really be a leader on this team, I mean, how impactful can she be for this group? And what were those conversations like maybe in the off season about keeping her and the impact she can make here?
Well, the conversations were short because she wants to be great. So it's not like you're trying to convince someone, no, you've got room to grow. This is what you have to work on. She wants to be elite. So she has the mindset and the understanding of knowing, hey, I've got to continue to work on my ball handling. I've got to be able to get my shot off a little quicker at times, score in small areas. And at the same time, there's also leadership skills. As a freshman, sometimes you go through your ups and downs, and now she understands, even if it's a bad quote game for her, I might not score the ball as much as I want. She's still got to have an impact on the floor for us from a leadership side. And she's really been working hard on taking care of those things as well. And it starts with workouts. You might not shoot the ball great, but how are you handling it? And she's been really good with that. So I'm excited for her and really looking forward to when we start getting going.
So you lost both your post players in Nyla and Olivia, but just looking at the roster, it looks like you have some pretty good depth. Obviously waiting for Grace and Isla to get healthy and everyone else to get here, but I guess how do you project early on that kind of front court rotation to look?
No, I mean, it's still a lot to be seen with Grace not being cleared for 5-on-5. Laura's been extremely impressive. I mean, she averaged a double at St. Joe's. She rebounds the ball well. She can score it. She passes. She'll bring some scoring that we might not have had from the perimeter as well. Is she as explosive as O? No. but she might be able to pass the ball a little bit better. So you're going to lose some things in some areas with the graduation of O, but then you're picking some things up in other areas. I've said it, through my entire career here, we're never going to replace, you're not going to find another Jada Curry. But Taj is going to be able to elevate Amari Berry is and score in different ways. So I'm really excited about it. And Aleph has had a really good summer in Turkey. She made their national team that I was a part of. Didn't play a ton of minutes, but there weren't many college kids that even made their national team. So her to be in camp with those professionals for about 2 months was valuable for her. And then she came straight home after we finished the end of June with the national team to start training with their under 20 team. So now she'll be going off to the under 20 championships here the 1st of August. In the next few days to start. Yeah, so the summer's gone fast to start playing with that. So she's probably played more basketball than anybody on our team throughout the entire summer. So really looking forward to having her come back. She's got 2 years experience now. Really understanding, I think, towards the end of the year that she can play inside and out. She passes the ball well. She doesn't have to just rely on shooting threes. And then she's really worked hard on rebounding the ball because that's one thing we had talked about. I need her to just really attack the glass more. So I like what we have. And Putra should be here hopefully by the first day of school. And she's working her way through her visa and all that good stuff. But we're expecting her to be here, and hopefully, like I said, Isla will be cleared in September to start working her way back into basketball. Anaya, oh yeah, she's been here. Anaya's had a very interesting summer for the fact that she's also in our School of Engineering. So she's had a full semester of summer classes. So it's not one of these where she's just sitting in the dorm room relaxing. She's had a full semester of engineering, which is quite challenging. So, but I'm proud of her, and she's continuing to improve. But she's got a lot of room to grow.
Have you seen Peyton adjust to the college game so far and look at her spacing and her shooting for the team?
Well, I think Peyton and Reagan both. As they continue to grow and get adjusted to the speed and quickness of the game, they're both understanding what they can bring to us. They both shoot the ball well. Peyton is one, I think, that it's been really good for her to be here this summer because it is an adjustment. Kids are bigger, stronger, and quicker, and she's learning now she's got to get herself ready to shoot. And when she gets an open shot, you got to shoot the ball because they're not coming around as often just because the players are better that you're playing against. But she can shoot the basketball, and that's one thing that I think will be a big asset for us.
Jeff, how was that international trip for you this summer? I know you probably learned a little something.
That was great.
Every time you do that?
Yeah, no, for me, it's, I told Josh, I mean, there's not a better professional development class, clinic that I could go to. Having the opportunity to work with pros and then to watch other national teams that have nothing but pros on them, how they approach things, how the game is played. I talked to our kids today when we were scrimmaging. Understanding how to use fouls. If you've only got one team foul, two team fouls, and somebody's on a breakaway layup, you never got the layup. They fouled you. They know how to play. They know how to attack a ball screen. So it was great. I was able to sit there and work with the players for about 3.5 weeks, and then have the chance to go to a ton of games. The Belgium team that won it was coached by Mike Mike Tebow, who was the coach for the Mystics, our national team, assistant coach. And I had no idea until he rolled into the hotel in Athens that we were in, and we were both like, well, what are you doing here? So it's very, very well coached. Great players. So it was a great summer for me. I really enjoyed it. Really
Jeff,
enjoyed it.
you're headed into the 19th year. I mean,
Yeah.
Is there ever a pinch me moment that you have been doing it for this long, and how have you maybe seen yourself transform over the course of this time?
No, I mean, it's all changed. I mean, it's 19 years. It's been great. There's no question about it. I mean, and do I wonder how, where all the years have gone? Yeah, I mean, it's gone by fast. I don't know how many of us in this profession can say that they've been able to be at one place for 19 or 20 years. There's probably 10 or 15. I joke, but it's the truth. You normally try to get out before they get you out. And it's changed. I mean, the game's changed, the landscape's changed, everything's changed. And you've just got to try to adjust to it, but at the same time, you can't go away from what's worked. It's what I told our kids today. I mean, I'm all for coming to practice every day and just saying, let's go hard. Let's have a great day. And if they do it, fantastic. But there's some days you got to motivate them. You got to coach them hard. Because I also know what their aspirations are. I know when they come in my office and they say, I want a chance to be a pro. And I tell them, I know what it looks like. And what you've done the past week doesn't look like it. So if you want me to just keep telling you great job, you're not going to get where you want to get. So you've got to be willing to allow us to coach you. And you got to be willing to be uncomfortable. So one thing in life, no matter what you do, you've got to be uncomfortable in order to be great. It's conditioning. You choose to either go through the hard so you get in shape, or you choose to not. But what's going to happen is when we play in a game on national TV, everybody's going to see that you chose to not. I'd rather go through the pain now getting in shape, so then when it comes time to play, I'm in shape. So we've talked about that with all of them. Obviously with NIL and rev share, that's all changed a ton. It's just something that we're all trying to adapt to. We're all trying to figure out in this recruiting. When you're recruiting against somebody that might have more than you have, you got to figure out what's important. Who do you go after? Because it matters. I mean, I tell people all the time, you can't put fault on a player. You put fault on a family or anything. But if I can offer somebody $80,000 and somebody else offers them $240, I know where I'm going. So you're all trying to balance what you have to offer them. And that's the interesting thing is, we're all obviously not playing with the same amount. So that's where you're trying to figure out, okay, can you get a kid over here for $50,000 because the kid here is going to get an offer for $150 over here. And then what happens is you stay in it long enough. Unfortunately, it's not going to come down to money. It's not going to come down to money. And it's hard to say. I mean, we all want to say that, but everybody here has a job. If somebody called and offered you 3 times to switch stations, I got a feeling you might switch. I might see a different logo on your camera. So what happens? So as coaches, you've really got to make sure you're doing the right job of finding which ones. Okay, here's who I can afford. This is what I'm going down. And then at the same time, you got to make sure as incoming freshmen, it's like, do I put 6 figures into an incoming freshman, or do I wait till the portal comes open to a kid that I know has played and they've done it? Because the pressure has changed. And not on coaches, on players. I feel for them. I mean, the college experience is kind of a little changed some now. The days when I played at Northern of going up to Skyline and maybe having a few too many to drink at the little local establishment on the top of the hill, you know, you come to practice on Saturday morning, it might not have been a great day. Well, now the problem is you might be sitting there at a bar next to someone who's like, I gave $100,000, and you're sitting here, you're drinking. You know, you lose a little bit of, and I'm not saying you're supposed to drink in college, but let's not be naive, people. Okay? So you lose a little bit of that college innocence, if you want to call it, because now there's pressure, man. There's pressure. You're sitting there, you're getting paid. The pressure is real for them, and it's great that they do get the opportunity, because there are kids that our own players who they've done a great job of saving, putting money away, investing it where they're smart about it. It can truly be generational wealth. It really can, and I'm hoping that they'll continue to save it. But yeah, it's all changed.
Does that, to go off that a little bit, how difficult is it make that high school recruiting now? I think only 10 of the top 50 girls have committed at this point in the class, which last year was like 30 of 50. Is that why the process has slowed some on their end, and how difficult has it become for you guys?
Well, it's changed. I mean, I think that's part of why some of it has slowed up. And for us, we're just trying to be very careful on, first off, you only have so much money to pay your players. So I think eventually I'm hoping to get down to maybe 10 to 12 players. And you might have 13, you might have 14, and some are just happy to be on a scholarship, okay, which sounds crazy anymore. Yeah. But, you know, like Asia Durr was on a scholarship. Dana Evans was just on a scholarship. And we say just on a scholarship, you got kids that would die to not have to borrow money. But you've got a certain amount to pay. So it's like, okay, if we can get down to 10 or 11, now all of a sudden the amount you can offer somebody is a little bit higher. But then you got to be planning for someone to transfer as well. You know, you're dealing with some schools in rev share that might have 2.5 to 3 million. And if you're dealing with one, like if a kid can get 3 times, and it happens, it's every coach will tell you, as the year goes on, you want your kids to play really well to a point. Like, don't play too well, you know? But it's what makes it fun. I mean, we're sitting here each year. It's no longer, if you find kids that can stay 4 years at one school, I think it's going to be impressive. You know, I mean, it's really, it's difficult, I think, on the men's side as well. I mean, in football, I mean, they might play for three schools in one season. It's crazy on that side. I've watched it.
It's not an exaggeration.
Kind of speaking on that a little bit more, when it comes to managing that budget and trying to figure out the best use of the money that you have, how many people are involved, I guess, in that decision? Is it like you have kind of the final word, or are you trying to be a little bit more collaborative with your assistant coaches? Like, what does that look like, I guess?
No, when it comes down to the final, I mean, obviously Josh lets me know, hey, here's what your rev share number is. Here's what you have to work with. And then at the end of the day, it's on me. Sure, we'll sit there and talk about it as a staff, but at the end of the day, it's going to be put onto me, and it should. I'm not going to sit there at a press conference and say, well, you know, Jody said I should offer the kid $80,000. I only wanted $50,000. I mean, and then you get into it of like, the interesting thing about it is there are players that I might say, okay, I think for us, because I'm trying to get a team together, you might be worth $80,000. But then somebody else might offer 120, and it's like, well, why aren't you offering 120, Jeff? You're only offering 80. Like, because I'm also trying to put a whole team in place, and that's where we're learning as it goes. You know, do you just try and get 5 elite players and say here's $200,000 for 5, and then say the rest of you're just getting a scholarship, and find maybe 4 that are thrilled to be on scholarship that are good players that want to be here, but you pay your 5 a certain amount. So it's a juggling act right now. And the other thing is there's no true value per se of what does a starting point guard make in the SEC? What does a starting point guard make in the ACC? What's a starting post player? So we don't have that yet, and I think we're all trying to figure it out of what are the numbers. So it's not just building relationships with families and anymore. I mean, it's still a big part of it, but there's so much more into it now.
I guess kind of going off of that, now that you're a GM too, I mean, is there anybody else that, how do you balance those responsibilities? Is there anybody else that kind of helps with making those decisions as far as who gets how much ever?
No. I mean, I taught Josh. Obviously, Josh is the one that tells me what we have. And then at the end of the day, like I said, I talk with my staff, but I've got my spreadsheet. And I plug them in knowing, okay, here's what we have. And then, like we did last year, I mean, we also have areas that if you transfer at the end of the year, we're going to have a savings. So we're going to save some. And then that allows me, if we go get a transfer, to pay them a little bit more on the front end so it would hit last year's cap, and then give them what their salary would be for the upcoming year. So you're trying to do a lot of different things in the terms of, okay, if you don't get who you want, do you just go, okay, we're going to have a good year this year. It might not be great. We're going to have a good year. And then I'm going to save $250,000 of my cap to then go try and get three transfers that are big time. So the following year, we're going to be really good. So it's a matter of how it all works and what kind of finances do you have. Because there's schools above us that have more, but there's also schools below us that don't have as much. I mean, there might be a kid that's getting $50,000 at a school that's conference player of the year. And all of a sudden it's like, hey, I can go get $150. So now that school is also now trying to find the next one. So it's not how it used to be when you'd sign a Asia Dur, Dana Evans, Maisha, and go, okay, it's a 4-year thing. And you might have 1 or 2 transfer here and there, it happens. But now, if you don't expect it and plan for it, shame on you. Go ahead.
Do you ever think, yeah, you spend 10 minutes just talking about money and salary cap at a press conference. That you've had a lot of years where you knew the team, before you ever stepped into a preseason practice, you knew how you wanted to play and what type of team it was going to be. That's hard to do right now, but what do you have? What kind of feel do you have for this team and how it will be?
We're going to try and play quick. I think we can play fast. I think we're going to try to make it as entertaining as possible for our fans. But at the same time, we have to cut our turnovers down. We can't turn the ball over at the same rate that we did last year. So that's one of the areas that we've talked about. We want to play fast but play smart. And then we're going to try to do a really, really good job of teaching our kids to know during the flow of a game who's got the hot end. If someone's made 2 shots in a row, we got to get them the ball for a third time. And you might see that say, well, that's pretty simple. How can you not do that? There's my problem in the back. There's Taj right there in the window. But no, so those are things that we're going to really try to teach our kids to make sure that we can take advantage of moments in a game. Like, God, you've hit 2 in a row. Let's try to get them the third one. And then for our kids to understand, we're going to try to get you the ball, but the other team knows it too. So when 2 people run at you, now you got to get the ball to the open person. So I like our team. I really do. They're a great group of people, young ladies. They seem to get along extremely well. They've done a bunch of things outside of the basketball court together, which I think is important because you're adding new players each year, and you're trying to get a chemistry in place.
Coach, earlier you mentioned that Taj is stepping up as his leader, but talk about Mac. I mean, she seems more vocal out there, and she seems like she's trying to, get everybody together in that sense.
Yeah, Mac was a good leader last year as well. She's always talking. She's always vocal. Just really, I'm excited for her because she's feeling better. Her foot feels better. That's going to be, for Mac, it's not her work ethic. The kid's in the gym, she's working. We just got to make sure she stays healthy, and I think she can have a huge impact for us because she plays so hard. She knows how to play the game. She knows how to pass. She moves well without the ball. Just does a lot of things that if you're just a casual fan, you might not see. But when you break down film, it's really impressive to watch.
Just
Yes.
kind of going off of that a little bit, Jeff, we only lost one of the 8 freshmen. To be able to have everybody stay together, I mean, what do you attribute that to, and how much continuity, or how much does that continuity help you moving forward?
Well, we try to be as honest as we can with all of them before they even came in. Here's what we have. Here's what we're trying to do. And then, as I tell them, we're trying to win basketball games. So it's nothing personal. We're going to put the best players on the floor that we feel give us the best chance to win. We talk about that as a staff. Like, okay, who would you put out there? Who's yours? I have them write things down, so then my opinion's not overriding your opinion. But then once we all have it written down and it's 90% we agree, then it's pretty simple. But I do tell our kids, I mean, you've got every single day to show me what you want your role to be. If you want to be a scorer, then show me every day you can put the ball in the basket. And if you're not great at that, be a rebounder, be a passer, be a leader, be vocal. I mean, there's so many things you can do to help a basketball team win. And that's what we're trying to get them all to understand. Be great at your job. Whatever your role is, be great at it.
Denmark, Turkey, Ukraine, Australia. You said a few years back that when you started the international thing that, going and doing, you did camp one year, you did different things, you speak over there, you coach, that you wanted to try to get some. Is that where the international flavor kind of comes from? And does that impact the whole NIL thing? I mean, is it different in any way with the foreign kids?
No, I mean, it's pretty much the same. It's viewed the same for them. We're just trying to go out and find the best players we can, no matter where they are. With Aleph, saw her play a few years ago over in Lithuania at a tournament. Like what I saw. Then with Laura, obviously she played at St. Joe's. Right. And then have the opportunity to have her on the floor. It is nice to have international players because they are taught the game a different way. Their rules stay the same from when they start playing until they're finished. We have different 3-point lines. Our stuff changes. You go from halves to quarters and different. No, they're all one thing. You can't call a timeout as the ball's in play. When the basket's made, you can call timeout. A dead ball, you can call timeout. But as a coach, I can't. When I see you're going to turn the ball over, I can't call timeout. The turnover is going to happen. So they're taught at a younger age how to play. And I've said it the past few years, I think technically they're really, really good in Europe, all around the world, really good. Athletically, they haven't caught up to us in a lot of areas. We'll wear them down come third and fourth quarters. And I think everybody saw that this past year in the Olympics. It's a great game with France. It's right down to the end, and we just eventually wore them out. But it's great because I'm working. If I can teach our kids to play the style of basketball that they play in Europe, because they're always moving. The ball's moving, they're moving. It's impressive. With our athleticism, we're going to be really hard to guard. So it's been great for me. I've loved every second of it. I've been fortunate. My family's been able to come to the events as well, to some of them. And yeah, I mean, what an experience it's been for my own kids to be able to see how basketball's played internationally.
Jeff, just want to get on the record, it's a little offensive that you think we would just jump stations for more money.
Oh, you would. You would.
But a question about the international, how has that helped your foreign language skills over the years?
Bad. My point, it's one of the things, every kid I talk to, my own kid, it's my biggest regret. You know, in high school, you had to take 2 years of a foreign language. At least we did here in Kentucky. I took Spanish, 2 years of it, mi casa, su casa. Cuantos años, señorita, señor. I can remember a couple things, that's it. But I never dreamed that I'd be traveling out of the country. I mean, I grew up in northern Kentucky, and we go to the lake at Barron, and, you know, we go a few places, but you never dreamed of getting on an airplane and flying. But back in the 80s and 90s, you hardly, I mean, not many people that I knew were just flying places. Now kids are flying it everywhere. And it's one of the things I say, it's, you know, I joke about it. We had a young lady that played for us at Maryland, Orly Norez, who, when I would recruit, I recruited her from Paris. And we'd be on the phone, and she'd always tell me, all because you're yelling doesn't mean I understand you any better. I'd be like, hello. And when I picked her up after about the first month at Maryland, she goes, Coach, do you know what a person is that speaks 3 languages? I said, trilingual, 2 languages, bilingual. So I go, yeah, I'm aware. She goes, you know what someone's called that speaks 1 language? I'm like, look at her, I'm like, no. She goes, American. You know, and it was I was like, oh my God, it's so true. And it's just because we can also fly 4.5, 5 hours and not leave our country. You know, we're sitting there in Istanbul, and I fly 1 hour and 20, then I'm in Athens. And then you fly another 1.5 hours and you're in Italy. It's just, you know, where they can travel, you have to be able to speak different languages. And then I always say we're extremely spoiled. We're spoiled as Americans because I've been blessed to travel all over the world. And every time I get off an airplane, there's a sign that says exit. There's a sign that says car rental. They're in English. And I remember when Norika's family came for senior night from Japan. You land out here in Louisville, there's no signs in Japanese telling you where the exit is. You know, so we're spoiled in some ways, and very fortunate that we are able to communicate because everyone, 99% of the world also speaks English. So I do wish I could speak another language, but unfortunately, hadn't gotten there yet. Still time.
Where do you stand with schedule right now, and how is it looking?
Schedule, we are finished. Has it not been released?
Amy's checking on contracts.
Oh, so we're still checking on contracts. I know, obviously, we all know we're opening up in Germany with UConn. We'll have Kentucky here at home, Colorado here at home, Tennessee. I think has that been announced up there, but game time is not, has it?
No, date's the 20th.
The 20th, we're up at the Barclays Center. South Carolina's been announced for the SEC Challenge here at home. We'll have Northern Kentucky this year, Eastern Kentucky. We're hosting a tournament here with Bellarmine and a few other schools. So we're going to have enough non-conference, but we are fortunate that we're playing a lot here at home, which in the past we've been on the road. But hopefully once we get the contracts, we'll have it. Ball State's one we're also playing. Yes. Anything else? Appreciate y'all. Turn these things off.